Imagine a city, Samaria, under siege. I mean, so desperate for food that the unthinkable happens. People resorting to cannibalism, consuming their own children.
It's truly harrowing.
Yeah, this isn't some dystopian novel. This is the reality we find in 2 Kings chapters 6 and 7. It's quite a shocking way to start our deep dive today.
It certainly grabs your attention.
Definitely. And we're not just exploring an ancient story here. We're using it as, well, a profound lens.
Looking into prophecy, human action.
And what it really means to be an agent of grace. You know, someone, maybe even unlikely, who God uses to bring about something positive, something divine.
And our insights, they're drawn directly from this biblical narrative.
Right.
But interpreted through a contemporary message.
Exactly. From Pastor W.F. Kumuyi. So our mission for you today is to pull out some surprising insights about urgency, faith, responsibility.
Connecting these old stories to today, even to future predictions.
Yeah, helping you quickly grasp why these ideas still matter so much. So let's dive in. It's really hard to truly grasp the level of despair in Samaria back then.
Unimaginable, really.
We're talking about a famine so bad it drives people to these horrific acts. And right in the middle of this absolute horror, a figure steps forward.
The prophet Elisha.
Yes, Elisha.
Yeah.
And he delivers this bold, almost unbelievable prophecy. He says, "Tomorrow, about this time, shall a measure of fine flour be sold for a shekel."
And 2 measures of barley for a shekel in the gate of Samaria?
I mean, think about that reversal from utter, desperate scarcity
to sudden, radical abundance overnight.
It's astonishing, isn't it?
It's a remarkable moment. It really sets the stage for everything that follows. And what's fascinating is just the sheer audacity of it.
In the face of all that suffering.
Exactly. All evidence pointed the other way. Yeah. But the source highlights his unwavering conviction. His prophecies apparently had a history of coming true.
Right, which should have given him credibility. But
then comes the doubt.
So Elisha declares this incredible turnaround. And here's where it gets really insightful, I think. A high-ranking official, someone close to the king.
A lord, the text says.
Yeah, this lord hears the prophecy and just openly scoffs. Mm-hmm. He says, "Behold, if the Lord would make windows in heaven, might this thing be?"
Such immediate public doubt from someone in power.
It feels so human, doesn't it? Even with Elisha's track record, he just couldn't buy it. What does that tell us?
Well, this raises a really important question, doesn't it? Sometimes our position, our status, or what we think we know about the world.
A worldly knowledge.
Exactly. It can actually become a barrier to faith. The source specifically warns against using that kind of influence, that closeness to leadership to, spread unbelief.
Interesting. And Elisha?
He didn't back down, didn't change his message, even when challenged by this prominent figure. The prophecy stood.
But with a consequence for the doubter.
A stark one. He was condemned to see the miracle happen.
But not partake. Wow.
Yeah. The big takeaway here seems to be the word of the Lord will be fulfilled no matter how incredible or impossible it looks. Our skepticism doesn't change God's plans.
So the prophecy is hanging in the air. But who ends up actually triggering its fulfillment? It's not the king, not a general.
Not anyone you'd expect.
No, It's 4 leprous men, outcasts, literally sitting at the city gate, facing death by starvation.
And they make this choice. It's pure logic, almost.
Right. Why sit we here until we die? They figure, if we go into the city, we die of famine. If we sit here, we die. Let's try surrendering to the Syrians. Maybe they'll spare us. Maybe they'll kill us. But sitting here is certain death.
It's just raw survival instinct.
Completely. And what's really remarkable, as the source points out, is they're acting purely out of this desperation.
They have no idea about Elisha's prophecy. None at all.
They're not in on the divine plan. They're just trying not to die.
Exactly. But meanwhile, God had caused the Syrian army to hear this terrifying noise.
Chariots and horses, a huge army.
And convincing, they thought they were being attacked by allied forces, and they just fled in total panic.
Leaving everything behind.
Everything. Their tents, food, supplies, silver, gold, the whole camp abandoned.
And the lepers just stumble upon it.
Yeah. They find this deserted camp, they feast, they gather treasure. Initially, they start hiding it for themselves.
Understandable, maybe.
Yeah.
After what they'd been through.
Perhaps. But it shows how grace operates in unexpected ways, doesn't it? Through these forgotten individuals. They become pivotal, even just acting logically.
It makes you think, doesn't it? Those moments when you're so focused on your own relief, you forget the bigger picture.
Right. And then after they've had their fill, they have this This sudden realization.
The aha moment.
Exactly. They say to each other, "We do not well. This day is a day of good tidings, and we hold our peace."
If we wait till morning, something bad will happen to us. We need to go tell the king's household.
What was it, do you think, that broke through, that made them shift from self-preservation to responsibility?
Well, the source highlights this crucial point about being an agent of grace.
Yeah.
They weren't pushed by a preacher. No external command. It was their own conscience.
That inner voice.
Exactly. That moral compass kicked in, telling them they had to share the good news. It shows even those on the margins, the outcasts, can be key in God's plan just by listening to that inner prompt.
It really brings that insight from Pastor Kumuyi to life, doesn't it? Sometimes when you know too much of the world, your knowledge of the world will cancel your knowledge of the word.
How so?
Well, the lepers didn't have status or worldly wisdom to cloud their judgment. Their simple, desperate logic cut through any overthinking. It led them straight to action.
And that action became the bridge, the way the prophecy was fulfilled for the whole city. Incredible.
And that story provides such a powerful parallel for today.
Right. The source draws this really direct, impactful line from that physical famine in Samaria
to what it calls a spiritual famine in our world now.
Okay, let's unpack that.
Yeah.
What exactly is this spiritual famine? How does it show up? It's more than just people not going to church, I assume.
Oh, definitely. The text points to Amos 8, verses 11 and 12. It describes it as not a famine of bread nor a thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord.
So a hunger for hearing God's word.
Or maybe a lack of truly hearing it, even when it's available. The source suggests it's about a lack of deep, transformative understanding and application.
So information might be there, Bibles might be open, churches might be attended.
But there's still a deep hunger, a lack of real nourishment. People might wander, seeking something more, seeking truth, but shall not find it in a way that truly satisfies or changes them.
That's a challenging thought. It forces us to look past the surface activities.
Exactly. Are people truly hearing? Are they applying the word in a life-changing way? That's the core of this spiritual famine.
Okay, so if that's the urgent need today, this spiritual emptiness, what's the call to action for us? The lepers acted with such urgency once they realized.
I really did.
And the source says, when his spirit speaks to you, there's just one thing to do, just obey. How does that translate for us, recognizing this need around us?
Well, it raises that important question for you, the listener, right? If we possess good tidings, whether it's physical help like the lepers found, or the spiritual truth of the gospel, what's our responsibility?
Is it just to hold on to it?
The message strongly emphasizes immediacy, urgency. Don't defer doing good or sharing the good news of salvation to another time.
Now is the accepted time. I remember that.
Yes, and it echoes Ecclesiastes too. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with thy might. Why? For there is no work, nor device, nor knowledge, nor wisdom in the grave whither thou goest.
So the opportunity is now. It's fleeting.
That's the point. The window to make a difference, to share the good news, is the present moment. Once it's gone, it's gone.
And the text uses some pretty strong language about the consequences of not acting urgently. Things like ultimate condemnation for thinking otherwise. That sounds intense.
It is intense, high stakes.
So for someone maybe feeling overwhelmed, dealing with their own struggles, how do they balance that urgent call with just getting through their own life? What are the implications of holding back?
The implication is presented as deeply serious. If we forbear to deliver them that are drawn unto death, if we hold back when we could help or share truth, the text suggests God sees that, sees the selfishness or inaction.
He uses the analogy of a watchman, right?
Exactly, like a watchman on the city walls whose job is to warn people of danger. If the watchman sees the threat but stays silent,
and people die as a result,
their blood, their responsibility is on the watchman's hands. He's held accountable for his silence.
Wow. That's a heavy responsibility.
It is. And Paul's example is given how he felt compelled to declare the whole counsel of God, not holding back. The message is crystal clear. The Great Commission, the call to share the message of salvation, isn't a casual suggestion.
It's urgent.
It demands immediate action. Our personal convenience, our challenges, they don't negate the existential need of others.
And that leads to this final idea in this section, an urging conscience to take orders.
That sounds like more than just obedience. It's like complete alignment. I think that's a good way to put it. It connects deeply to the idea that our conscience shouldn't just nudge us. It should be sensitive and immediately responsive to the Spirit's leading.
Like taking direct orders.
Yes. The source highlights that if we start prioritizing our own lives first, or adding buts conditions, hesitations. I'll follow if, or I'll follow after.
And then our commitment is, well, what was the word? Desecrated.
Desecrated, compromised. The core idea presented is stark. You cannot call him Lord and still want me first.
That it's hard.
And the passage from Luke 9 illustrates it powerfully. People called to follow Jesus offer excuses. Let me first go and bury my father.
Seemingly valid reasons for delay.
Right. Very understandable human obligations. But the response is always, act now, follow now, let the dead bury their own dead, go and proclaim the kingdom of God.
So it's about making that divine call, that commission, the absolute non-negotiable priority.
That's the essence of it. True surrender means immediate, unreserved action.
Okay, so we've talked about the urgency of acting now based on the spiritual famine we see today. But the source also, well, it casts an eye forward.
Right, it shifts focus a bit.
Yeah, it warns about a different kind of famine, an endemic sure famine on the horizon that's going to ravage the whole world. That sounds even bigger, more profound.
It does. It sounds more far-reaching than Samaria's physical famine or even the current spiritual one.
So what kind of famine is this? And what do the sources tell us about why it's described as sure or inevitable?
This seems to refer directly to significant biblical prophecies, like those in Matthew 24, where Jesus speaks about the signs of the end times.
Wars, rumors of wars.
Exactly, and specifically, verse 7 mentions famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places. And Jesus calls these the beginning of sorrows.
Just the beginning.
Yes. Leading into what's often called the Great Tribulation, a period of intense global upheaval and suffering, often interpreted as lasting 7 years.
And the source says this is basically locked in.
It puts it very bluntly. Our desire and prayer for wars and pestilences to stop across the world cannot stop the prophecy of the Scriptures.
Wow. So these are foretold events, part of a larger divine timeline, that prayer won't necessarily alter.
That's the perspective presented.
Yeah, that's a powerful statement, and maybe a bit unsettling for some. If these events are fixed, if even prayer can't stop these specific prophecies, what does that mean for us? What can we do? How do we prepare ourselves or help others prepare?
Well, that's the crucial question it raises for you, isn't it? If we can't stop the prophecy itself, what is within our control? What can we do?
Okay, so what does the source say?
It emphasizes that preparation is first and foremost personal. Salvation is personal, holiness is personal, not transferable.
Can't pass it on to your kids or spouse.
No, it takes a personal relationship with God to escape the Great Tribulation, so that individual connection, that personal readiness, is paramount.
But there's a collective part too.
Yes. Alongside the personal, there's this collective imperative. The primary focus for believers, it states, should remain unchanged, declaring the gospel and taking the gospel to the ends of the earth.
Even amidst these unfolding events.
Especially then. That mission will continue to the ends of the earth regardless. The call is to preach and teach very clearly to prepare the church, which includes teaching about these end-time world events.
So it's a dual focus, personal readiness and global proclamation.
Precisely.
Okay, given these really powerful warnings, these calls for both personal and collective preparation, what's the ultimate provision? The non-negotiable thing we absolutely must preserve for ourselves and others to navigate whatever is coming.
The text is unequivocal on this point. God has given us his word that is sufficient for us all, and we must preserve that word.
His word. That's the anchor.
That's presented as the ultimate provision, the enduring truth. And there's a caution attached.
Which is,
don't get swept away by the sights that dazzle and the things you see in the world. Don't let your heart be overcharged with surfeiting and drunkenness and cares of this life.
Why? What's the danger?
Lest that day come upon you unawares. The danger is being caught unprepared, distracted by the temporary when the eternal is at stake.
So the call is to stay vigilant.
Yes. Watch, be sober, keep focused on the essential, and actively preach this word, this preserved truth.
Even when it's difficult.
Despite the opposition and contradictions of the world, and share it broadly to every creature. Preserving and proclaiming that truth is presented as our fundamental task. #tag outro.
Wow. We've really covered some ground today, haven't we?
We certainly have.
From that visceral story of famine and prophecy in ancient Samaria.
Connecting it to the idea of a spiritual famine right now.
And then looking at these urgent calls to action, both for now and in preparation for a foretold future global famine. It's a lot to take in.
It is. But the core message, I think, distilled from our sources is pretty clear, isn't it?
What stands out most to you?
That line. The word of the Lord will be fulfilled no matter how incredible or impossible it looks. That seems central.
Yeah, that resonates. And also the emphasis on personal faith, urgent action.
And that idea of uncompromised surrender, especially when it comes to sharing those good tidings and holding on to essential truth.
Absolutely. So for you listening, considering this dual nature of famine, that historical physical lack and the contemporary spiritual need, and then this urgent call to share good news, to prepare.
It makes you wonder, doesn't it?
Yeah. What good tidings might you be holding back, maybe without even realizing the potential impact of your silence?
And what does it truly mean for you, right where you are, to be one of those agents of grace, even in small ways?
Some powerful things to reflect on. We really hope this deep dive has given you some valuable insights and maybe sparked some new thoughts.